Brothers and sisters, welcome to the Not So Super Bash Bros E3 coverage for 2017. Yes, we are at the penultimate press conference and it's Sony. And as always, I am the PS4 Pro to his PS4, Mr. Nick Davis. Joined as ever to the PSP Go to my PSP, Mr. Hans Davis.
Hi, what's up, bitey? That's the one I say, bitey.
So yes, Sony, hot off the heels of Microsoft announcing a new console, their main rivals, what they got up their sleeve.
Indians, Nick, is what they have up their sleeve.
Yeah, sure. We opened the show. So last year Sony did have like a live orchestra, which was pretty cool. This year we get 4 Indians on stage. What?
It sounds like the start of a really racist joke. 4 Indians on stage. A little bit of dirty water coming from the ceiling.
Was it water? I thought it was sand.
No, it's water, and then they projected
light through
the light shit onto it.
Okay, I thought it was sand.
Fucking started laughing my ass off at that.
That was pretty cool, though. I thought that looked really cool.
Probably the cleanest water those 4 Indians have ever seen. I'm so sleep deprived. Oh.
So yes, this launches into a trailer for Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which kind of has the typical cinematic Uncharted gameplay. I think it's standalone. Like, I think they're releasing it as like a standalone thing, rather than for Uncharted, like DLC for Uncharted 4.
Yeah, no, it probably is going to be a standalone. Not gonna lie, I might get it, but I think I would miss Nathan Drake not being in it.
Yeah.
Also, I have a note here. Would be cool if this was co-op, but it probably isn't.
No. There was no like gameplay sequence. It was a trailer cut together of gameplay, and they didn't have a date as far as I saw. But yeah, that's more Uncharted. You know what you're getting into.
So I'm up for more Uncharted.
Fake snow falls from the ceiling as we get a trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn's DLC expansion thing, which seems to be set in like a snowy Arctic kind of area, and like it's a 2017 release date.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Like Horizon Zero Dawn did surprisingly well. Mm-hmm. So like to release an expansion pack. Yeah, no, it's a good move. Obviously we haven't played Zero Dawn yet, but it's something I've been curious in since it has done so well for itself, especially as a new IP. So,
yep. And then we get our first big kind of gameplay thing of the day, and it is Sony Ben's Days Gone. I could literally, I knew it was the game, like, but for about until it came up at the end. Fuck, could I remember what this game was called?
Yeah, me too.
It was announced last E3 or at the PlayStation Experience. I can't remember, and I just blanked on its name.
So that means it's made a very lasting impression on you then.
Right, so yeah, about that. I can't shake the feeling that this looks really like The Last of Us. Like, the way the characters were done, the way the animations happened, like even parts of the gameplay, it kind of just looked like an off-brand Last of Us.
My first note here is, why does this random bum have detective vision?
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yes.
He went up to the bike and then it all
Biker
went like
vision.
A blue tint, and it's like, they must have gone this way, and you're just like,
he has biker vision.
Did you stroke? Well, sure.
But yes, something about the way the animations, it all just like, it looks like it's been lifted straight out of The Last of Us, and I don't know why.
I was maybe more positive on it than you, I think.
Even when they showed it I can't remember when they showed it, if it was at E3 or the Experience, but they showed it last year, and literally their big draw was, hey, look how many zombies we can get on screen, and look how they all move together, and yes, that stuff looked neat.
Yeah, I actually have that. It did look good.
But like, yeah, like the demo they showed last year was better at showing that stuff off. But this one just, if that's the core gameplay, like, it just doesn't do anything for me.
Oh no, I did. I was more positive on it than you by the looks of it. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy the fucking thing. Also, I have a note here. Wow, Sony's really bringing the bullshit in full force today. Live hanging zombies.
Yes, I have Sony dropping everything from the ceiling. sand, snow, and people.
Yeah. I think they realized, oh, we're on a theater stage.
Yeah.
Means we get to do some theater.
Side note, that was fucking massive.
That was a big fucking stage.
No,
wasn't it?
not even just, but the actual like room itself was.
Oh, the venue,
yeah, huge.
Yeah, no, it was. It was
like,
and it was sure,
like it looked fucking packed as well. Yeah. So next up, we got a trailer that got no opening. And my first note is this looks like really like Monster Hunter. Turns out it was a Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, on the PS4.
Yeah, so that's not just PS4. That has come out now. That will be PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like especially for like it did start on PSP and PS2, I think, obviously, and then kind of shifted towards Nintendo as their handhelds kind of picked up more traction than Sony's. It's cool to see them now releasing another one on main gen systems. In addition to like the Switch is getting a new one this year as well, I think.
I mean, it was cool, and I liked in the combat there was a lot more maneuverability, like with the wall running and like the grapple hook and stuff. What I was a bit concerned about is it showed absolutely no online features.
Well, I think that's what they kind of teased at the end, was the way like you fired up that flare, and then as it did the title, you saw other people swooping in.
This may be the first Monster Hunter game I get into properly.
That gets an early 2018 release date.
And Nick, do you want to talk about the next thing?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. Go ahead.
So we get, which looks like an actual remake of Shadow of Colossus, not just like an HD'd up thing of like porting it from PS2 to PS3 like they did before. This looks like legit. We are like redoing a lot of the assets, so this looks fucking phenomenal on PS4. And you know what? It fucking did. Those were some hairy ass monsters. I'm psyched.
I'm really not bothered.
2018. Well, I'm even given more confidence because Bluepoint have done a lot of remasters like that before. Like they did the MGS stuff, they handled Uncharted collection, and they handled a bunch of like they are like pretty much the go-to people for stuff like that.
At least they kept to my rule of, you know, at least one generation in between a remake. Yeah. So I'm not pissed about it.
So next up we have a trailer for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and my first note is this is all just Marvel Cinematic Universe characters.
My first note is, whoops, someone accidentally set off a random pyro.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I think that was meant to come up with something, because something else before it had pyro, and I think it was just maybe a late cue.
It was the fire for the monster and dragon or monster hunter. But yeah, it just went off. Yeah. So it was like just as they pulled out to look at like the screen, and it was just burst of light. Hey Nick, guess what the end state's gonna be?
Yeah, they have a lot of like no Marvel character in that has not been in the cinematic universe or will not be in the cinematic universe.
Yeah, and it really doesn't look pretty.
Yes,
I think it looks really bad.
Chun-Li's face was fucked up.
Yeah,
I think a lot, like mainly the human female faces looked really bad.
Yeah, it was.
Did you also see the side-on of Captain America where he's about 5 fucking feet wide?
No, I didn't.
There's a side-on shot and he's just so barrel-chested. He's like 5 feet like thick. It's great.
I do like that they've put in an Injustice-like story mode, though.
Oh, you say that. So I have Mortal Kombat style story, but Street Fighter V has already fucked this up. Like their story mode was goddamn atrocious, and they tried to do the Injustice style thing. It was terrible. So I don't have much faith in them doing anything better with this.
Well, that's fair enough. I didn't know that. Okay.
September 19th, and why was there 2 post stingers?
Was there?
Yeah, so
yes.
It's like, oh, here's the release date, and then it was like, oh, Strider and Gamora teleport away, and Miss Marvel was like, oh, ninjas, huh?
Which wasn't that funny.
Yeah, and then it goes like, oh, it's story demo available now, and then there's a scene between Rocket Raccoon and Dante. It's like, why did you need 2 stingers that neither of which were funny?
Well, I thought the second one would have been better than the first one.
The second one was better, still not great. So, next up we get Call of Duty World War II, which just gets a trailer, like, not gameplay, which actually Call of Duty generally does. And I have to wonder, was this proactive or reactive to Battlefield 1? Like, was this in development before Battlefield 1 was announced? Or is this them saying, alright, how well Battlefield 1 was received and then developing a World War II game? So I have, like, some stuff has come out since this actually happened, which is the advantage of recording this, like, later on. Apparently there is no references to Nazis in this game.
What?
There is no swastikas. They are never directly called Nazis, and there is no reference to Hitler. He is just called the leader.
So they have essentially, almost in a sense, whitewashed.
I'm
assuming
the World War II. It's because they don't want to have to create two separate versions to release one in Germany.
The whole point of doing a First World War, Second World War game is like you are supposed to try and recreate it historically accurate as possible.
Then we get a rush of VR games, which I'm going to blow through quickly because they're all kind of shit. We get Skyrim VR, and then my note is I really don't think we're ever going to get a new Elder Scrolls game.
I have. Why wasn't this showing at Bethesda's bare-ass conference?
Yep. And then my other note is I wonder if this is a separate game or a free update. They don't make it clear.
I'm going to guess probably a separate game.
Yep, me too. Star Child, which looks like a side-scroller space-themed thing.
Yeah, how's that VR?
They've done VR stuff before like that. Like Lucky's Tale, as I mentioned before, is like a platformer that is in VR. You just happen to be looking around.
That's a bit weird,
yep,
but okay.
I agree. The Inpatient, which is from the Until Dawn devs, which looks like a psychological horror game. Then we get the best VR game ever made, Final Fantasy 15 Fishing.
I have. Okay, now you're just taking the piss.
Yep. September 17th. September 2017. Bravo Team, which my note is this looks like the most generic game in the world.
Do you know what that kind of looked like to me, actually? It looks like those old school arcade shooters.
Yeah, kind of looked like Time Crisis, yeah.
Time Crisis and stuff kind of brought the VR.
But literally, it was just looked super generic.
Oh yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like, if they had actually made a Time Crisis VR game, that would have been pretty cool. But why you've just put it into a modern war shooter, like, for fuck's sake, as if we don't have enough of that shit.
That's also made by the Until Dawn guys. We get Moss, which is an adventure. It seems like you play a spirit that is guiding this mouse through an environment. And then I said, that motherfucker just looks like the Spirited Away ghost. But that's an interesting concept, I think, like where you seem to like play this ghost trying to protect, like open up paths for like AI character.
I have a note here. Kind of getting fed up with VR games now, to be honest.
Well, get used to it.
Fuck.
Then we get a gameplay, sort of gameplay demo. There is extended gameplay bits in it of the new God of War. Grumpy old man grizzled Kratos is the best Kratos.
I agree. I do agree.
But they confirm that this is definitely linked to the old games, as we see Kratos like get a brief glimpse of like what looked like his etching on a Greek style jug.
Yeah, like there are still a lot of questions about how this ties into the God of 3. Like, how did we get here from God of War 3? And I'm that alone might sell a lot of copies of the game, to be honest.
It kind of like the combat seemed like it wasn't necessarily like directly there, but it did seem Dark Souls-esque. Like you seemed a bit more behind the back rather than a bit more raised up. The combat didn't seem very slow, but it was definitely a bit slower than it was before.
I actually have that note. I think the combat is where this game's going to falter. It seems like Dark Souls, but slower and clunkier.
I don't think it looks slower at all. I think I rewatched it before, like I'd rewatched it before after seeing it again. I think there still looks like there is still some like a lot of the combo stuff in it. Like you do see him like knocking people off into the air and juggling them a bit. That stuff is still there. I think they've just maybe slowed it down a bit because obviously you don't have these extendable fucking chain swords. But yeah, you get like they tease some of the story stuff, like this is essentially Kratos seems to be going to be fighting Norse gods this time.
That sounds fucking awesome. Greek gods versus great. Viking gods is fucking cool as shit.
Get to see giant world snake, I think it's called.
I have a note here. I'm going to stab that thing in the face so many times.
Did you hear the translation of what he said?
No.
I need about 350.
Hey, goddamn London Manta.
Then we get David Cage's Detroit Become Human, which I keep calling Being Human.
Yeah, we do.
Lots of human versus android themes.
Which have been done 100 times before.
It's the exact same type of trailer we got last year, where it's like, oh, this could have played out differently.
I don't know, man. I played Heavy Rain and just didn't dig it. I thought it was silly.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I enjoyed Heavy Rain, and I still need to play Beyond Two Souls, but I've heard good to middling things about it. I don't mind David Cage's games. I know they are not for everyone. I just wish this would actually, look like it's going to come out anytime soon. Then we get a trailer for Destiny 2. Seems to be leaning much heavier onto the story, which is good. Gameplay brief, kind of still looks the same as Destiny. And just like the first one, they're going to have a bunch of exclusive stuff on PlayStation. I'm excited. That actually started taking pre-orders today for early beta access as well. Because it's on the Battle.net launcher now, which is weird every time I look it up.
They would have to make a lot of serious improvements to the original formula to get me to go back to it.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the end of our show with Spider-Man, which actually gets literally the only...
Excuse me.
Oh.
That's not how you discuss Spider-Man, you peasant.
It gets the only proper gameplay demo that has, like, UI in it, which I thought was quite funny.
Nick, you sit back, sweetheart. I'm about to tell you about Spider-Man.
I'm going to blow your mind here. This didn't impress me.
I am a little bit on the same boat.
It looked fine, but it literally just looked like Arkham.
I thought there was improvements from... I was going to say the last outing, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a piece of shit. So the first Amazing Spider-Man, I feel like that the stealth gameplay, yes, you can say it was from Arkham. Fair enough, and that's true, it is, but it makes sense for Spider-Man to have stealth mechanics.
It does, but this just was the whole, like, I'm going to sneak around and pick off these guys one at a time. It was just so ingrained in me that, like, this is exactly, like, the stuff I did in, like, 4 Arkham games.
Yeah, no, it is, but at the same time, you could say that about other franchises. Like, Arkham nailed the superhero formula. Like, that's fact. It's no different from saying, oh... This every Modern Warfare shooter felt the exact same as Modern Warfare 2. Do you know what I mean? I think stealth in a Spider-Man game makes sense. I understand it's the same as Batman, but then stealth in that Batman game made sense. They just did it better first. And so I understand that it's going to be similar. It's not going to put me off.
It's not even just the stealth. Like, literally, like, I'm fine with, like, no game is original these days. It's a fucking matter of fact. Every game has kind of borrowed the Arkham combat at one point. But my issue was, like, this literally just gameplay loop, and, like, it went straight from, alright, I'm going to sneak around and take these guys out, then I'm going to jump down, I'm surrounded by a couple of guys, and then it just launched straight into Arkham combat. This looks like a fucking Spider-Man skin on an Arkham game. Yes, the swinging, like, looked very nice. It looked very fluid, the way he, like, blended from, like, swinging normally to running along buildings. That stuff looked super good. Like, so I think the traversal, they've really looked into it. I just think the actual action side of gameplay, so to speak, is maybe a bit tired and true, and maybe too similar. The contextual environment stuff seemed neat as well, though. I'll give them that.
I like that because it does make it more Spider-Man like he does do that in films and
like you
things.
notice, like, when he did do the dodge, it give you, like, it slowed down so you could kind of look around and see what prompt you maybe wanted to hit.
I think it looks nice.
Oh yeah, it looked really good. I still don't like the white in the suit though.
But that's a taste thing more than
I know that's completely just me.
I know you're going to compare this to Batman again, but I think the idea of Spider-Man now using gadgets makes a lot of sense as well.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Especially if it's an older Spider-Man like they said it was.
But it doesn't sound like an older Spider-Man.
I have that. Old Spidey still sounds like a fucking teenager.
Yeah. Like, I know, like, the voice actor is Yusuke from Persona 4. And it sounds like he's about in his 20s.
Yeah.
This does not sound like an older Spider-Man.
I like that Mr. Negative is a villain, and for seeing, like, it's the first time we've had him in any movie or game or anything. Mm-hmm. I don't like that they still have a heavy use of QuickTime events. Yeah,
that was a bit weird.
I feel like
especially because we've gone like a long time with, like, QuickTime events really being, like, a big thing in games.
I mean, if you look at the likes of Uncharted, they do these big, massive set pieces, and maybe it is technically a QuickTime event, but they don't make it feel like a QuickTime event. So that is a bit iffy to me. No, I don't know if you noticed this, but in the actual trailer, not the thing that was shown here, but in the trailer that was up on YouTube, did you see there was a post-title screen stinger?
No.
Miles Morales is in it.
Oh.
So I think with Mr. Negative, whose power is they can turn essentially if he touches someone, he can make them act like their opposite, essentially, change their personality and control them. I foresee Spider-Man versus Spider-Man, which I would literally spooge my pants over. I'm a much more bigger Spider-Man fan than you are. I am still going. Well, I've already bought it because of that whole Tesco's pre-order thing. I already bought it. I think it still looks neat. This was obviously a small section, a small story section. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the open world, and like side missions and stuff, because that's where the Amazing Spider-Man 2 shat itself by making side missions not optional. I don't know. I think it looks good. It still seems to be falling, even though it's with a new developer now, it seems to be falling into some of the old traps of the older Spider-Man games. But no, I am looking forward to it.
No, that's the end of our show. So yeah, this was such a weird show to me, I thought. Like, Sony, who are usually so big into like their massive first-party heavy hitters, there was no Last of Us 2, there was no Final Fantasy 7, there was no Kingdom Hearts, even though that did get a trailer earlier in E3. There was no Shenmue, which they seem to be really behind. Like, they were missing so much of their big things. Like, this seemed like such like just like an off year for Sony. Like, nothing they announced here today is a big first party game for 2017.
I think I'm with the same boat as you. I don't necessarily I am severely disappointed with this conference. I think I've kind of been slightly disappointed with both of the big companies. Like, Microsoft was fine, but
I think Microsoft was better as well, because at least they started, like, I wrote here, the big name games were good, they're just not coming soon, and there was nothing here that was big and unknown.
Do you think maybe they went off prematurely? Like, they were like, oh, here's so much this year, like 2 years ago, then this year, oh, here's so much stuff, and then they've kind of gotten to this year, like, shit, we've revealed everything that's worth revealing.
Like imagine if, say, Days Gone hadn't been revealed until now. Imagine like if God of War hadn't been revealed until now. That'd be grand, because at least now they're less than a year, would say, ish, away from completion and being released. Instead, this is now the second time we've seen all these games, and we're still about 9 months to a year away from releasing most of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Man, yeah, no, it was not a great conference.
No, definitely not.
I am happy to see Spider-Man, but other than that, man, no, this is a bad one, real bad one.
Yep. And that's it. That is Sony in the books, and we have one more to go with Nintendo's E3. What do they call it? The E3 presentation? I don't know. They call it something weird. It's a fucking press conference. It's just a video. But for now, it is a goodbye from Hans.
See ya.
It's a goodbye from me. See you tomorrow.